This conference will now be recorded.
We are discussing the Dax functions. In the Dax functions, so far we are done with a few categories of Dax functions. What are the categories of Dax functions we discussed is text functions, logical functions, and date and time functions. In the last class, we discussed about what? Date and time functions. Today, we'll start with a category of functions called filter functions. Along with the filter functions, we'll discuss uh, a category of functions called relationship functions. We'll discuss about filter functions as well as what? Relationship functions. Relationship functions. Right, let's start. Today, we'll try to discuss this filter functions as well as what? Relationship functions. Fine. First, first filter function we'll be discussing about is what? Calculate. So one of the important DAX function which we commonly used in deriving the new information. Deriving the new information. Concentrate. First, I'll talk about calculate function. So to explain those functions, first let me load some tables. Click on Excel. I'll load some tables from sample superstore. I'll just load orders table. Along with the orders table, I'll load a few more tables from another Excel called EMPDEPT Excel. So let's load three more tables from another Excel. Click on get data, Excel, EMPDEPT, EMP table, DEPT table, and managers table. Click on load. So first requirement is create a measure to show the sum of sales, guys. I have orders table. I have a sales column, and in the sales column, I have the values. I want to sum all the values. I want to show what is the total number of orders you have is 9994. For the 9994 orders, what is the sales amount I need to show? So for that, what you will do is go to the data view, select the orders table. You will create what? Measure. Click on new measure. So, and you can give any name to the measure. I can just write the measure name as sum of sales. I can take the sum function and I can pass what? Sales column. When I do this, when I go and use this measure, it will show how many region sales. When I drag this measure in the card visual, how many region sales it will show here? All four region sales. All four region sales. Create a measure to show complete sales. First requirement is create a measure to show complete sales. In order to create a measure to show the complete sales, how you written the formula is a simple formula you written like this. So second requirement is create a measure to show sum of sales where region equal to central. That measure need to show only central region sales. Create a measure to show sum of sales where region equal to central. So I need to write the formula. So previously we written the formula which will show what? Complete sales. Now I want to create one measure. When I drag that measure to the visual, that measure need to show only one cell. What is that cell? Central cell. Only one cell, central cells. How to create a measure is go to the data view and select the orders table. Click on what? New measure. I can give the name of the measure as central sales. Any name we can give it. For now, I'm just giving it as what? Central sales. You need to write the formula. So here you need to use a function called calculate function, guys. I'll explain. Just see here. First, I want to use calculate function. In the calculate function, what is the first argument you can write? Expression. Second argument you can write filter. What this calculate function will do is it will evaluate an expression by passing what? Filter condition. By passing the filter condition. In simple terms, what is the meaning of this message is calculate function will evaluate an expression in the context modified by filters. So it will evaluate this expression by writing the filter condition. By writing the filter condition. Now what is your requirement? You need to evaluate what? Sum of sales. By writing the filter condition, what? Region equal to central. Do that. First argument you need to write here is what you need to calculate. Sum of sales. And what is the filter condition? Region equal to center. Region equal to center. When I close this bracket, when I run this formula, this measure, this calculate function will evaluate this expression by passing this filter condition. By passing the filter condition. When I go and check that, show it in one card visual, I'm taking another card visual. I'll just go and drag the central sales and I'll convert it to millions. Go to the callout value, change the display units to millions. Now four regions together, how much sales? 2 point. Only one region, how much sales? 0.5 million sales, right? So here in the calculate function, filter argument is optional. If you look at this calculate function, out of the two arguments, first argument is mandatory, second argument is what? Optional. First argument is you are writing any expression you can write. If you don't write the filter condition, what it will give means complete sales. It will give complete sales. When I don't write the filter condition, it will give the complete sales. It's an optional. So if you want, you can go and write what here? Filter conditions. What filter condition you want, you can write it. Region equal to central. So this is the formula to show the central sales. Let's copy this formula and write this in the notepad. So the next measure they're asking to create is create a measure to show sum of sales where region equal to central as well as region equal to east. As well as what? Region equal to east. So previously you show only central region sum of sales. Now I want to create one measure. When I drag that measure to the card visual, it need to show both central data as well as what? East data. Tell me how to create a measure now. To create a measure, select which table? Orders table. Click on what? New measure. What is the measure name now? Central as well as what? East what? Sales. Any name you can give to the measure. Now, so whenever we need to evaluate an expression by passing the filter condition, which function? Calculate. Now let me write what calculate function will do. Calculate function will evaluate an expression by passing the filter condition. Calculate function will evaluate an expression by passing what? Filter conditions. You can even pass multiple conditions also. By passing what? Multiple filter conditions. Look at here. Calculate sum of sales. What is the first filter condition? Region equal to central. And here, if you this see, when I keep another comma, what it is asking to write? Filter condition 2. So in the calculate function, when I write filter condition 1 comma filter condition 2, between filter condition 1 and filter condition 2, by default it will take and logical function, guys, which it will take and. But my requirement is I need to show central and east together. What is the sales? That means you need to write two conditions now. One is region equal to central. Second one is region equal to east. Tell me in a card visual to show both the region sales, you will choose under or. Or we need to choose
or
what here? Or.
or
So here I said that when I go and keep comma, when I go and write another condition, it will take which operator means under. So if you want or, you need to use double pipe. What is that? Double pipe. Or operator we know, right? Double pipe. What is the second condition here? Region equal to east. So now with these conditions, it will calculate what? Sum of sales. Sum of sales. This will give how many regions sum of sales now? Two regions, central and east. Let's go and take another visual. And in this another visual, when I go and drag central and east sales, how much it is showing? 1 point. Only one region, 0.5. So with two regions, 1.18. With four regions, 2.3. Right. So now, okay, we understand how to show two regions data. with R. So now my client is asking, create a visual to show sum of sales where region equal to central. In the central region also they're expecting to see only technology sales and category equal to technology. Category equal to what? Technology. Technology. Understand? I need to calculate what? Sum of sales. So by default, when you write region equal to central, it will show how many categories data there? All three. Now I don't want in the central region all three. In the central region, I want what? Only category equal to technology. So you guys need to tell me, you are showing central region sales as 0.5 million. In the central region, I need only technology sales. That means sales value will reduce or increase. Reduce. Less
Reduce.
than this. This is what? Central, all three categories. I want central only technology. It should be less than this number, right? You just tell me the formula. Go to data view. See, measures can be created either in the data view or in the report view also. In the report view also, you can go and select the table. You can even create it. But measures, wherever it is, fine. Measures you can create in a data view, or you can go to report view. You can select the table and you can create what? Measures. But columns, the best way is, even columns can be created in report view. Go to report view, select the table, you can create what? Column. But recommended to create the column in the data view only. Data view. But measure, whether you create in the data view or whether you create in the report view, it doesn't matter, guys. Anything is fine. Anything is fine. So you can even go and create the measures in the report view also. Select this, go to the table tools, click on new measure. Or you can be in the data view, select the table, go to the table tools, click on what? New measure. Anything is fine. Right here, this time I want what? Central category equal to what? Technology, what? Sales. If you want to show central technology sales, I want to evaluate an expression by passing the filter conditions. Calculate what expression? Sum of sales. What are the filter conditions? Region equal to central. What is the second filter condition? You can just write comma and you can write second condition. I said that filter condition 1 and filter condition 2, it will take which operator? And what category equal to what? Technology. Category equal to technology. Technology. Close the bracket and run the formula. Now when I go and take one card visual, when I go and drag that value there, so central technology sales, and I copy format painter, when I convert it to millions, complete central is doing how much sales? 0.5. In central only technology is doing how much sales? 0.17. See, like this you can write it. The another way you can write it is, you can use logical function also here. Instead of writing comma, what you can even use here? Instead of comma, you can use what? Double ampersand. Both are same. Both will give what result? Same result. You can either write comma, even when I go and check it, how much it is showing? 0.17 million. Either you can write comma, even when I write comma, filter condition 1 and filter condition 2, between these two filter conditions, it will take what? And by default, right? So you can even just go and write double ampersand also, right? Right. Like this, what you understand now, what you understand now is about calculate function. Calculate function is used to evaluate an expression by passing what? Filter conditions. So I given a basic understanding of what calculate will do. In the coming classes, I will use this calculate for many times to write the filter conditions. You will understand lot of examples where I will use calculate. For now, you just understand how to apply more than one filter condition, or and we discussed. Okay, fine. We understand about which function? Calculate. Next one is what? All function. So the requirement is, I need to create a visual here. In the visual, I need to show region wise sales and percentage sales. In the visual, I need to show region wise sum of sales, and beside that I want to show percentage of sales, guys. What you need to show? Percentage of sales. In order to get the percentage sales, current region sales divided by total sales will give what? Percentage. So how to get current region sales divided by total sales? Here, you just tell me the formula, how to write it, percentage sales formula. don't by heart it. So I said it on the introduction class, that's not the requirement. So or else we will split it to get the percentage sales. The numerator is that particular region sales, the denominator is total sales. You just tell the formulas bits and pieces. First I'll club it. First, tell the formula for numerator. Click on new measure. I'm writing the formula for numerator. In order to get percentage sales, first I'm writing the formula for numerator. In the numerator, you need to get that particular region sales. In order to get that particular region sales, you don't need to write anything. You can just write sum of sales, guys. When you write sum of sales, it can give current sales only, current region sales. Why? When you write numerator, you just write the formula sum of sales. It will give that particular region sales. Means we know that when you create a measure will work on filter context. What context? Filter context. It will filter the central data. It will show central sales. Okay, getting the numerator formula is simple. You just write sum of sales. That measure will work based on the filter context. It is giving central region sales. So to get the central region percentage in the denominator, you want what? Complete sales. You just tell me denominator formula now. Select the orders table, click on new measure. Just tell me denominator formula. In order to get complete sales, how to write the formula? In order to get complete sales, when I go and write sum of sales, will it give complete sales? Why it will not give complete sales? When I go and drag it, it is not giving complete sales. Why it is not giving complete sales? Means the measure by default will work on which context? Filter context. So now I need to ignore this filter context, guys. What you need to do? I need to ignore the filter context. I need to calculate sum of sales for what? All the four regions. All the four regions. Whenever we need to ignore the filter context, whenever we need to perform the calculation, here comes the function called what? All function. Understand? So what all function will do is, let me open one document to explain the all function. I'll just open this. All function will return to the all function. Either you can pass a table name as an argument or column name as an argument. Look at here. When you take all function, to the all function, either you can pass table name as an argument, or either you can pass what? Column name as an argument. I'll discuss what happens when you pass the table name, what happens when you pass the column name. All function will return all the rows in the table. If you pass the table name, let's say if you pass the orders table, how many rows you have? 994 rows. To the all function, when you pass a table name, it will return all the rows in the table. And what it will do? Ignore any filters that might have been applied. See here, currently it is considering the filter, region filter or furniture filter, whatever it is. So it is considering furniture filter and it is giving the some sales. I want to ignore that filter and I want to show in the denominator. You need to ignore that filter. You need to show sum of sales for what? All the rows. All the rows sum of sales. When you do it, how much you will get? 2.3 million. So here the requirement is, in the denominator, I need to ignore this filter for all the regions. All the regions, how many rows you will have? 994 rows. 994 rows, I need to do sum. How much you will get? 2.3 million. That value you need to get it. For that, what you need to do is, you need to use the all function. I'll explain, guys. So bits and pieces I'll explain. Just look at here. To write this denominator formula, you need to go and use calculate function, guys. Calculate function will help us to write the expression by passing what? Filter condition. What you need to calculate in the denominator now? Sum of sales. While calculating the sum of sales, I need to ignore the filter condition. To ignore the filter condition, what function? All. So all function, what it you need to pass? Either a table name or column name. Let me talk about column name for now. When I pass the column name, orders table, we are telling that it will return all the rows in the orders table. For all the rows in the orders table, it will calculate what? Sum of sales. Then what is the result you will get? 2.3 million. When I close this, you will get denominator as 2.3 million. Now you got numerator, you got denominator. Now can you get percentage sales? Yes. So either you can pass a table name. So that's what we written here. All function will return all the rows in the table and ignore any filters that might have been applied. So already there is a region filter previously it applied. That region filter it got ignored and it is showing complete sales. To the all function, you not only can pass column name, you can even pass, so table name, you can even pass what? column name. To the all function, when you pass the column name, it will take all the values in the column, ignoring any filters that might have been applied. Let's say instead of table name to the all function, I can even pass column name called region column. When I pass the region column, what we are telling is it will take all the values in the region column. In the region column, how many values you have? Four values. That four values, four regions, if it calculates sum of sales, how much you will get again? 2.3. If you pass column name or table name here, the result is same. Result is same. When I go and enter, again you'll get 2.3 million only. Again you'll get 2.3 million. Calculate function, see here, it will evaluate this expression by considering this filter condition. In the filter condition, you use what? All. You passed what? Column name. All function will take all the values in that column. How many values you have? Four. That four regions, it will calculate what? Sum of sales. You'll get how much? 2.3 million. Now you have numerator formula and denominator formula. Just I written separately to make you understand. No need separately. I'll just delete them, guys. I'll directly write it now. So I'll just delete this numerator and denominator. Delete from the model. Here also, denominator also just go and delete from the model. So now I'll just go and write the percentage sales directly. How to write the percentage sales? Select the orders table, new measure, percentage sales. So to get the percentage sales in the numerator, you need to get that particular region sales. To get only one region sales, you can just write what? Sum of sales, sum of sales, which will give that particular region sales. Denominator, denominator you want what? Complete sales. You can go and write this code in second line, shift enter. So in the denominator, what you need to use? Calculate. Even the denominator I can write in next line. What is it? Calculate what? Sum of sales for what? All. Which column? I want all the regions and I want the sales. So this numerator piece of code will give only central sales. The denominator piece of code will give all the four regions sales. All the four regions sales. So you need to multiply with 100. What you need to do? Select this, go to measure tools, click on what? Percentage. When I click on percentage, it will multiply. Which region is doing more sales here? West. How much percentage it is? 31. Which region is doing least sales? South. How much percentage it is? 17%. You are able to show correctly. Now go and look at here. My client is asking to create another visual to show category wise sum of sales and percentage sales. To show category wise sum of sales, drag the category, drag the sum of sales. You can comfortably show category wise sum of sales. Beside that, what they're asking to show? Percentage of sales. So will this formula work or not? Let's see here. When I drag it, it's not working. So why it will not work is it will ignore the filter context for only region. See here. So to the all function, when you pass the column, it will ignore the filter context for only that column. When it ignore the filter context, here you will get the result. But here you will not get the result. Here you need to even ignore which filter context here? Furniture also. How can you even ignore furniture means you can keep one more comma. So here in the all function, you not only can write one column, you can even write multiple columns for which you need to ignore the filter context. I need to ignore now filter context for what? Furniture. You can even, sorry, category. For what? Category column. Category column. You need to even ignore the filter context for category. Now, is it showing now? Yes. So this formula will not only ignore the filter context for region, it will ignore the filter context for what? Category. So now both the places you are seeing the percentage sales correctly. Now, when I go and use the same formula to show segment wise sales and percentage sales, or else subcategory wise sum of sales I need to show and percentage sales I need to show. Subcategory, and I want to show sum of sales and I want to show percentage sales. Will this formula will work here? Work? No. It will not ignore the filter context for what? Subcategory. So in order to work this formula here, you need to go and pass another column name called what? Subcategory. So you can pass another column name subcategory here. Go and pass subcategory. So when I pass this subcategory, when I close this, when I run it, even it will work for subcategory also now, right? It is working for subcategory. So let's say I want to show segment wise sum of sales and percentage sales. There is another column segment wise sum of sales and percentage sales. Will it work? No. What again you need to do? You need to go and add the column. I don't want to go and add columns again and again for all this. So I want to change one change here that need to work for all the columns. Table name, instead of going and passing all these individual columns, all function can even allow what? Table name. When I just pass table name, what it will do all the time? It will take all the rows in the table, and when it take all the rows, it will calculate always how much here? 2.3 million. That formula will work for every dimension column in the table. Every dimension column in the table. When I go and run this will work for segment, this will work for subcategory. For every column you can see proper results now, right? So we understand what is the purpose of all function. All function will return all the rows in the table. There are some times where we need to ignore the filter context, where we need to take the all rows and we need to perform the calculation. So to the all function, either you can pass a table name. When you pass the table name, it will take all the rows in the table. When you pass the column name, it will take all the values in the column. When you pass the column name only for that column, it will ignore the filter context. So you can even pass column name 2, column name 3 like this. You can pass it. If you want more number of columns rather than going and passing column names, you can even pass what? Table name. So that is all function, guys. Important function again. Okay. So we understand calculate all. The next function is what? All selected. There is one function called all selected. What is the requirement? First I'll tell you, and I'll tell you how the all selected function will help us. The requirement is something like this. I'm taking one visual. In the visual, I'm showing category wise sales. I want to show category wise sales and percentage sales. How to show category wise sales and percentage sales is drag the category, drag the sum of sales, and drag what here? Percentage sales. For now, it is perfectly showing the data. Furniture category is doing this much sales. This sales to this total sales, how much percentage it is? 32 percentage. It is showing correctly. Now, my client is asking to provide a provision to filter the data based on a region column here. So client is asking to provide a provision to filter the data in the report based on which column? Region column. To provide a provision to filter the data based on the region, we will take a visual called slicer, guys. What visual we will take? Slicer. Into the slicer visual, I'll go and drag a column called region column. Which column will drag here? Region. When I drag the region here, we know that measure value will change based on the filter or not? Yes, already I explained in the measure. When I go and click on central, it will show furniture sales in which region? Only central. Now currently it is showing for how many regions? All four regions. When I go and click on central, it will show furniture sales in only central, office supply sales in central, technology sales in central. But when it comes to percentages, it is also showing some percentage. So it is showing the percentage for the total sales case. Furniture sales in the central region divided by what? Total sales 2.3 million. Sometimes what clients will ask you is, I don't want this percentage on total sales. I want percentage for what? Only central sales. Only central, what is the sales here? 501. In the denominator, instead of using 2.3, I need to write what? 501. So this formula, denominator formula, always it will give in the denominator how much? 2.3 million. It will calculate sum of sales for all the rows in the orders table. All the rows means 994 rows. So it will just ignore the internal filter. It will not ignore what? External filter. So here my requirement is in the numerator this value it is getting, but in the denominator instead of getting 2.3 million I need to get what? 501. So in order to get this number in the denominator, if you use all function you will not get it. If you use all function it is not possible. You need to use a function called what? All selected. In the place of all you can use all selected, guys. So this is the requirement for us. I'm showing category wise sales. By default when you use all, it will give the percentage for what? Complete sales. If you want for selected region percentage, selected region total sales, I need percentage. When I sum the percentages, it need to show how much here? 100%. So for total percentage, okay. Sometimes clients will ask you, in that region furniture is doing how much percentage? In south region office supplies is doing how much percentage? So in this case what function you need to use? All selected function, guys. All selected function. So just let me write that formula here. I'll just go to orders table, click on what? New measure. For now, clear that filter. I'll come back, click on new measure. Only difference is In the numerator, it need to consider the filter context. Percentage sales based on selected values. I can select go and select whatever it is. Percentages based on selected. In the numerator, I want to consider the filter context, sum of sales. In the denominator, I don't want the sales for complete sales. I need to get the sales for selected region. Selected region. For that, what you need to write the formula is calculate sum of sales, order sales. Here you need to use all selected. If you use all, if you write orders table, the problem is it will take all the rows in the orders table. Instead of that selected value in the slicer, whatever the selected value is there, for that I need here all selected function. Here also you can pass either a table name or what column name. I can just go and pass again what here orders table, which will work for all the dimension columns. So I'll just go and enter it, and you need to convert this to percentage, guys. Select this, go to the measure tool, click on what percentages. Now go and drag this measure on top of the visual. When I drag this measure, when I don't select any region, it is showing the same result. It is showing furniture percentage divided by total. When I go and click on central, just go and look at here, it is giving the percentage to this value 2 divided by 2.3 million. This is giving the percentage, this value divided by what 501. Now when you sum this percentages, how much you are getting 100. So this kind of results, when you want it, which function you need to use all selected, guys, all selected. So that is the second requirement. So they'll ask you, so I want to select a value in the slicer. For that selected value, I need to see the percentage. You need to use the all selected. Next, another requirement is, third requirement is, there will be some hierarchical data sometimes. Let me show you. First, let me create a visual and then I'll explain. I'm taking one matrix visual. What is the visual name? Matrix. In the matrix visual, I'll try to show category wise, region wise sales. I'll just go to the orders table, drag the category to the rows. You do the same thing. In Power View, you will understand this visual. I'm dragging the region also to the rows, and I'm dragging the sales to values. Values. I'm just creating one visual. In the rows, which two columns you dragged? Category and region. In the values, which column you dragged? Sales. I'm trying to show category wise, region wise sales. So now I will expand this data to see it. Drill down visual it will create. There is one visual called an option called expand, guys. When I just go and click on expand, it is showing category wise, region wise sales. I can show this data even much better. How can I show this data even much better is, select the visual, go to the formatting, go to the rows. In the rows, there will be an option called options. In the options, there will be an option called step layout. Stop this. When I stop the step layout, now you are seeing furniture category, central region, what is the sales value? Furniture category, east region, what is the sales value? This sales value is what? Furniture, all regions, sales value. Now you are showing category wise, region wise sales. You don't bother about how to build this visual. Where you will understand how to build this visual is in the Power View. Okay. For now, just try to understand the requirement here. What client is asking to show is, here client is asking to show percentage sales. Percentage sales. You written already a formula for percentage sales. When I go and drag this formula, you just tell me it is showing the percentage sales for what? This value divided by total. Total. Yes. This value divided by total. In this, in the denominator, what you written? Sum of for all 2.3 million, you'll get it. So what you are doing is, this formula will give that particular category, that particular region sales. This formula will give what? All sales. So what client is telling is, okay, this time overall you are showing, but my requirement is not overall. My requirement is not overall here. My requirement is, I need to compare this central sales with this total furniture. In that category furniture, in the central region, what is the sales divided by total furniture sales, so that I can understand furniture in central region how much percentage sales it is contributing, furniture east region how much sales it is contributing. In order to show that percentage sales, even this will not give the output, guys. This also will give same. When this will give the output means when you select any value in the slicer. So in this scenario, what you need to have is not this. You need to write a formula this time with something called what? all except. There will be another dax function. We already discussed all and all selected. There is one more function called what? All except. So you need to use the all except function. So whenever you have some hierarchical data, whenever dealing with hierarchical data, so here category and subcategory, you are having some data for, so or else do one thing, not category and region. Instead of category and region, drag the subcategory. Which one will drag here? Subcategory. You can even drag subcategory. See, it is not recommended to drag region there. It is recommended to drag subcategory only. Why? Because category and subcategory are what? Related data. Related data, it is recommended. You don't bother. Now whenever you are dealing with hierarchical data, category and subcategory are hierarchical data. Whenever you are dealing with the hierarchical data, whenever we need the percentages here, so now you need to go and use a function called all except guess. This is the requirement here. So what I want to do is, how you need to write the formula is, so numerator is same. Numerator, what I want, that particular sales, it need to consider this filter, it need to even consider this filter, it need to take this value. But in the denominator, want, you want this, not this total 2.3 million is not the one. In the denominator, what I need is only furniture related sales. Furniture related sales you want it. How to get only furniture related sales is, if you go and write all function, you will not get it. If you go and write all selected, you will not get it. You need to go and write what? All except. First let me write the formula. Select the orders table, click on what? New measure. I want to show the percentage sales for categorical data, or so for hierarchical data. I'm just giving hierarchical. So here in the numerator, it need to consider all the filters. To consider all the filters, you can just write what? Sum of sales. But in the denominator, it need to consider only a filter called what? Category filter only it need to consider. It no need to consider which filter? Subcategory filter. In order to consider only category filter, so here what you need to write is that category column, guys. All except category. So only category filter it will consider. Look at here, I'll just write this formula. In the denominator, you need to use divide. What is the function I'll use here again? Calculate. Then what? Sum of sales. So when I write just calculate sum of sales, when I leave till here, when I run this, how many filters it will consider this time? It will consider category filter. It will even consider what? Subcategory filter. Both the filters it will consider. Numerator will give the same data, denominator will give the same data. But our requirement is, we no need to consider this filter. We need to consider only which filter? Category filter. In order to consider only category filter, what you can do there is, you need to use a function called what? All except. All except in which table? Orders table. Which column filter you need to consider? Category. You need to go and write category here. When I go and write category, what this formula, denominator formula will do is, denominator, what happened here? All except, you are not still getting the correct result. What is the wrong? Sum of sales, calculate sum of order sales, all except orders table, category column. What we written here? So what it is doing, numerator, this number, okay, fine. In the denominator, we are expecting this number. So all except what column? Subcategory. Just run this. Still, huh? Category, subcategory. Numerator will give this result, no doubt in it. Denominator, when we used modifier called calculate, all except removes the filters from the expanded table specified in the first argument. Keep only the filters in the column specified in the following argument. Only that is what we mentioned here. Where we are doing the mistake, someone tell me. Sorry, what you are, which column you dragged here? Percentage sales, we dragged it. Which column you need to drag? Percentage sales hierarchy. Percentage sales hierarchy. Just go and drag the percentage sales hierarchy, guys. What you need to drag here? Percentage sales hierarchy. Even just change the formula. You need to, in all percentage sales hierarchy, here You need to drag which column? Category. Category column. You need to consider only category filter. Go and drag the category here. Enter. Now you need to go and drag what here? Sales hierarchy. Now you need to multiply this result with 100. Select this, go and click on percentage. Now if you just check it, it is giving the percentage for this value divided by what? This value. So here clearly mention it. What this all accept function will do is, so here read this line. When you use a modifier called calculate and all accept remove the filters from the expanded table specified in the first argument. Keep only the filters in the column specified in the arguments. What is the column you are specifying? Category. Only for that category, it will consider the filter and it will give the sum of sales. It will ignore the filter for what? Subcategory here, subcategory here. So this is a common requirement, guys. These three requirements you will have it. First one is percentage sales, directly getting it. Second one is when I even select a value in the slicer, it need to show the correct results. When you select a value in the slicer, if you want to show the correct results, you need to write a denominator with what? All selected. Third one is for hierarchical data, I need to show the percentage. For hierarchical data, when you want to show the percentage, so you want this sales divided by that furniture sales. For that, you need to go with what? All except. The three functions, they'll ask you the difference. All selected, all except. The next function is calculate all selected. Next function name is what? Filter function. Filter function will return a table, guys. Filter function will return a table. So here what filter function will do is filter function will return a filtered table. Filtered table. Let's say I want to create lot of visuals here and I want to show only central data. My client provided orders table. I want to create lot of visuals here. I want to show only central data in lot of visuals. When you want to show only central data in lot of visuals, you need to take the data, you need to filter the data, right? So whatever the filters you applied here, when every time when you client open that report, it will take complete data in the orders table, it will apply these filters, it will show the data. What happens is it takes time. Understand? When client provided complete data, but in lot of visuals, when client is asking to show subset of data, what you will do to do that is you will apply what? Filters. When you apply any filters here, every time when client open the report, it will take the complete data, it will apply the filters, it will show it. When you have huge volumes of data in the table, to load the data in the report, it takes time. So to increase the performance, what you can do is, let's say in lot of visuals I need to show central data. What you can do is, instead of applying the filter at this level, power view level, you can just create a filter table in the backend itself. How to create a filter table is, go to data view, go to table tools, click on what? New table. I want to create a new table, a filter table, click on new table. I want to have a table with only central sales and transactions. What? Central sales transactions. So if you want to get a filter table, what is the DAX function you need to use is filter function, guys. In the filter function, what is the first argument? Table. Second argument, filter actions, expression. What it will do? Returns a table that has been filtered. So which table data you are planning to filter now? Orders. What is the filter condition? Region equal to what? Central. It will create exactly all the columns what you have in the central table, but how many rows you have? 2 3 2 3. But actual orders table is having how many rows? Triple nine four rows. Whenever in the visuals, if you want to show only central data, which table is best to use? In the visual, if you want to show only central data, which table is best to use? The one which I derived now, the one which we derived. When I go and take one visual, when I go and drag the column from this sales, it will show how many region sales here? Only central sales. Why? Because this table have what? Only central data. Now you are not applying what? Any filters here. When I share this visual straight forward, it will take the data from this table, it will show it. Performance will increase, right? Filter function will return a filter table. Filter table. You can write any filter condition. You can even write second filter condition, third filter condition. Here you can use double ampersand, and you can write category equal to technology. You can use double pipe. You can use write region equal to east. Any filter condition you can write. Right. Once after the filter function, The next function we'll be discussing about is a function with the name called related guess. I'll come back here. Next function you have is what? Lookup value. So before I go and discuss lookup value, I'll discuss about a function called what here? Related function. So once after related, I'll come back to lookup value. Related is a which function? Relationship function. So let me give a scenario what I want. I want to create one visual where I want to show employee name, department number and job. In the visual, I need to show employee name, department number and job. Employee name, department number and their job. So what client is telling is, I don't want to see uh, department number and job in two columns. I want to see only one column, department number hyphen job. What I need to see? Instead of two columns, I need to show in how many columns? Only one column. How to show only one column here is, how to show? You need to go to EMP table, click on new column. What is the column name you can give is department number hyphen job, department number hyphen job. How to get this department number hyphen job into one column? Department number column, what? Ampersand, what you need to concatenate? Hyphen to that result, what you need to concatenate? Job, enter. Right? You'll get in one column or not now. Now what you can do is you can go and remove these two columns. You can go and drag this column. We can get the results. Perfect. You're able to achieve it. You can delete these two columns and you can show it. Just simple examples I'm telling to understand about a function called what? Related function. The second requirement is my client is asking to create another visual. In the another visual, client is asking to show employee name, department number and location. Employee name, department number and then location. Now client is telling that I don't want to see department number and location in two columns. I want to see in only one column. How to show in only one column? Again, you need to go to where? Data view. Then you need to go to which table? Employee table. You need to derive a new column called what? Department number hyphen location. Department number hyphen what? Location. To get department number hyphen location, what I can do? Take what column? Department number, then text concatenation operator. Concatenate with what? Hyphen, then one more ampersand, then location. Right? Is it showing location? No. So by default, we can derive the new column based on the columns which are there in the table only. Based on the columns which are there in table. So previously you derived department number and job based on the columns which is there already in the table. Yes or no? Yes. This time I need to derive the columns based on that column which is there in where? Another table. If you want to take the column which is there in another table, you need to go with a function called what? Related function. Related function will show the related EMP tables. EMP table is having relationship with what? DEPT table. EMP table is having relationship with what? Managers table. You can see the columns in the DEPT table as well as managers table. Which column you need? Location. Can we use this now? Yes. Take the location column and run the formula. You'll get department number and location. Then you can go and show this result in where? Visual. There are some times where we need to derive the calculated column based on the columns in the another table. That time you can use which function? Related. All these relationship functions what we listed here, they need to have relationship in the backend. They need to have what? Relationship. Now when I go and delete the relationship between EMP table and DEPT table, look at here. I'll go and intentionally delete the relationship between this EMP table and DEPT table. When I go and delete the relationship, the derived column will become invalid. So department number hyphen location got what? Invalid. So why this function is not working now here? Why it is giving error means related relationship functions. These are what? Relationship functions. They need to have what? Relationship. Here, there are some times where you might not have the relationship between these two tables. Still you want to see the result. In that case, you can go with a function called what? Lookup value. Lookup value does not require relationship, but related function need what? Relationship. Related function and lookup value function both will give the same result. You can derive the columns using the column which is there in another table. Related function need a relationship. Lookup value function does not require what? Relationship. Now if you want to see this result here, So if you want to see the result here, instead of related function, I can even use what? Lookup value function. So in the lookup value function, what is the resulted column you want from DEPT table? What is the resulted column? Location. To get that location column, what is the common column in DEPT table and employee table? Department number, comma. In EMP table, what is the common column? Department number in the employee table. When I close this, see, lookup value first argument is what? Resulted column. In the From which table you want resulted column? Department. In the department table, what is the common column? Department number. And you need to match with what? EMP department. That's what you are writing. In department, I want to take location. Based on which column? DEPT department number equal to what? EMP department. But this lookup function doesn't require what? Relationship. Still you will see the result. I'm able to see the result now. Yes, same result, right? So lookup value, they will ask you in the interview, what is the difference between related and lookup value? Related need a relationship. Lookup value doesn't require the relationship. Fine. uh, then once after the related function, we'll discuss about one function called what? Related table function. So understand here, I will go and give the relationship between these two tables. Related table is also what kind of function it is? Relationship function. So there are sometimes you want to derive the, so here you have a relationship between EMP table and DEPT table. DEPT table is one side table and EMP table is many side table. So there are sometimes you need to derive the output in many side table by taking the column from one side table. Whenever we need to derive the column in the many side table by taking the column from one side table, we need to use a function called related function. What function you need to use here? Related. When you need to use related function is whenever we need to derive any column in which side table? Many side table. Then you need to use which function? Related. There are some times where we need to derive the column in the one side table. Let's say my requirement is this time in the DEPT table, for each location how much salaries I am paying, I need to derive here. For each location how much salaries I am paying, I need to derive. That means for every row I need to show their salaries. In the DEPT table, when I want to show the salaries for every row, you need to click on new column. This time I need to derive the new column in which table means one side table. When one side table, when you want to create a column, you need to use a function called related table function, guys. Related table function. So in many side table, to derive the output, they will even ask this question also, guys. What is the difference between related function and related table? So both will take the columns from another table and derive the result. Related function, when you need to use it? When you want to derive the output in many side table. So here EMP table is many side table. When you want to derive the output, you need to use which function in this table? Related. When you want to derive the new column in the DEPT table, you need to use what? Related table. Let me show you how to write that formula. Select the DEPT table, click on new column. So I want to show the salaries for each location. Salaries for each location. For that, you need to use calculate function, guys. Calculate will help us to evaluate an expression by passing the filter condition. What is the expression? Sum of salaries. Sum of which column? Salary. It is there in another table. Sum of when I go and write, when I don't write anything here. So let's say when I go and just write sum of salary, I'm not even using calculate. When I go and write only sum of salary, for every location it will show sum of salary how much? 39,000. Is it correct salary? No, that is the total salary for all the locations. I want to show for each location. For that, you can take calculate sum of salary. Here we can write the filter condition. What is that? So only salary. So we can write the filter condition. In the filter condition, you can use related table, guys. What? Related table. So related table, from which table you need to take the salaries? EMP. When I go and write EMP, what it will do is for each department, it will send to the EMP table and it will filter the 10th department employees. 10th department, how many employees it will filter? 3 employees. For 3 employees, it will calculate what? Sum of salary. See, look at this. Related table returns the related table filter so that it will only include the related rows. 10th department, it will send to which table? EMP table. And in 10th department, it will filter the records. How many records will get? Three. For the three records, what it will calculate? Sum of salary. So then 20. Again, 20 department will 20 will send to emp table. It will create another table there. How many records? 5 records. For that 5 records, it will calculate what? Sum of salary. Here you need to go and pass emp table, close the bracket, and run the formula. Now, are you seeing New York location? How many employees salary it is? 3. This is how many employees salaries? 5. Right. Like this, for some reasons, if you want to derive any column by taking the column from another table. So if you want to derive in one side table, what? Related table. We understand related function, related table function, guys. Fine, let's talk about another function with the name called what? Selected value function. We discussed about all these functions till lookup value. We are pending with selected value function and what? Use relationship function. This is one of the use relationship function, important function. Before we go through that, let me talk about selected value function. Now, let me create one pie chart where I want to show category wise sales. In the pie chart, I need to show category wise sales. What I can do? I can drag the category column and I can drag the sales column where I can see category wise sales. Now, I'll do some basic formatting quickly. Stop the legend, change the label style to category comma data value, and add one border, general effects, add one visual border. Now, this visual, what is the title it written? Sum of sales by category. That means category wise sales. Now, when I go and select any region here, go and select I'm taking one slicer. Client is asking to provide a provision to filter the data based on what? Region. Now I'll go and select any region here, and I want to see only that region data. Currently it is showing what here? Central region, category wise sales. But I want to change this title dynamically when I select the region. So this is static title. Whether I select central region, it is showing same title name. When I select east region, it is showing the same title name. My requirement is when I go and select east region, I need to change the title based on this. I want to tell that category wise sales for central region. It need to change some title dynamically. In order to change the title dynamically, so I'll create one measure, guys. Just observe, I'll explain then. I'll just select the orders table. I'll create one measure. That measure I will use it for title. So just create one measure. I can give the measure name any name. For now, I'll just give it as at what? Title. So this title need to change dynamically based on selected value in the slicer. Selected value in the slicer. So some hard coded text is there. Only it need to change region name. Remaining is hard coded text. How to pass hard coded text in the measures? Double quotes. Double quotes. What is the hard coded text? Category wise sales. You can write anything. Sum of sales by category or category wise sales. Category wise sales for and one space. This is a hard coded text. Now, along with this, I want to change write the text which I selected here. When I go and select central, it need to write central category wise sales for central. When I go and select east, it need to write east. Whenever whatever the value you are selecting here, if you want to get it here, you need to use a function called what? Selected value. Selected value function will give you what value you are going to select in the slicer. I'll just go and write selected value. So which column? Region. Region column. You can just pass what? Region column. Region, just region, guys. So here selected value function have two things here. Selected value in which column? In the column, if you select the value, it will show that region name. If you don't select any value in the slicer, you can show what? Alternatives. When you are not selecting any value, it is showing for how many regions? 4 regions. What you can write in the alternative result? All regions. What you can write? All regions. What this formula will do is, just understand, guys. So it is a hard coded text. When I select central, this selected value function will give what here? Central. When I don't select anything, this selected value function will give what? All regions. This is the title, guys. When I enter this formula, so now I want to use that measure here in this title. How can you use that is, go to format, go to general, which formatting? Title. So there is something called what? F of X, conditional formatting. and based on the field value, what is the one which we created now? Measure title. Go and take the title, press. Okay. Now as you don't select any region there, what is the title it is telling? Category wise sales for what? All regions. When I go and click on central, it is showing category wise sales for what? Central. When I go and select east, it is showing category wise sales for what? East. Like this, dynamically based on the selection, if you want to change something, what value is selected, if you want to show there, you need to use a function called what? Selected value function, right? So this will take 20 to 25 minutes of time. Use relationship function. I'll discuss in the next class, guys. Today we discussed about all the filter functions, and then in the relationship functions we discussed about two relationship functions. We need to talk about use relationship function in tomorrow's class. Let's stop here.